Welcome, everybody, to the seven phases, aka the secret path to getting rich. And yes, I can say that because literally you will find out why. Like, as long as you do these things, and you actually follow them and you're self-aware and everything in between I'm about to explain, you will get to where you want in life, whether that be 25K a month as an email marketer, 100K a month if you launch your own program or info offer or e-com store, or even scale up to 1 million a month. Like, so this is my collection of what I see across the board with like everyone from the students that are struggling still, the students that are actively closing clients, info offers that are scaling, working with some of the biggest, you know, self-development gurus in the game, like making $12 billion a year, and then running info offers, doing 120 mil a year, and like talking and being friends with the owners and like actually understanding and seeing what's going live in the game right now with their mindset and where they are on their journey. And so this is it. And this isn't going to be some rehash of like T. Harv Eker, Secrets to the Millionaire Mind or something like that. Like this is fresh info that's literally just from my head and from stuff I've seen. Nothing I've read from books is in here, but you may recognize a couple things, but it's all going to be fresh and new and crazy. And so directly related to my experience. So pay very close attention, take notes. So the number one thing nobody talks about is most people think the difference between being broke and, making 100K a month is just purely skill. And sure, skill is at play. And you guys have this program which will make you skillful and you have the feedback and stuff, which is helpful. But it's like these are some key things that I see when someone has the exact same skill or the exact same strategy and feedback as someone else, but one person's scaling and the other person's stuck. This is it. Okay. It's not the skill, it's not the niche. It's not the strategy. It's not even the economy. Okay, sure. Some of these things can like toggle and change a little bit, like the odds of your success in any given moment, but it's not the main thing that prevents you from being successful or makes you successful um, over the course of your entire life. Okay, because like all this stuff changes right here. So it doesn't, yeah. It's the phase you're stuck in, whether you know it or not. And so we're going to cover the phases, and I want you to pay close attention and help be self-aware and diagnose where you are and what phase you're in so that we can help you get you out of there. Okay. First thing I learned from my first mentor when I was living in his huge house in a gated community with exotics out front was self-awareness. He looked at me and said, Christian, most people completely lack self-awareness. That's why they're stuck and struggling and don't know why, or they say something's a scam or say something doesn't work and all that. Okay. And yes, stuff like that out there exists, but in general, self-awareness is key because it also all that stuff does work for people. It works for certain people, it doesn't work for some people, and the odds of success are either up or down depending on the other factors I mentioned. Okay. So before anything else, you need to know where you are. So most people fail not because they lack skill or opportunity, but they fail because they're operating in one phase while pretending they're in another. And so, if you can honestly diagnose your current phase, you can see your blind spots, counteract your pitfalls, and move with the precision of someone who actually knows what they're doing. So, the fast path forward always starts with brutal honesty about where you currently stand. And so, we're about to get to that right now. All right, so the seven phases, here's an overarching view. And yes, I made all this up. Okay. This is like coined. This is mine. I should give it a proprietary name. The seven phases of getting rich. That's the name. So, one, exploration. Two, LARPing. Three, toe dipping, not dripping. We're not like freaking getting decked out in Gucci here. Okay. We're not that kind of dripping. All right. We're doing four, sign of life. Five, full conviction. Six, embodiment. And seven, self-actualization. What an awesome number that this landed on seven. That wasn't planned from the beginning, but it just worked out that way, which I'm very happy about. Okay, so phase one, exploration. So people that are in this phase are watching YouTube videos, they're consuming free content, maybe buying a course or two, and you're basically orienting yourself to the landscape. Like you're getting accustomed with like this new potential identity of who you could be, of like, wow, maybe I am a copywriter or email marketer or online marketer in general. Like, or maybe I can even make money online and quit my retail job like I did at Costco, like all that, is like requires exploration. It requires you to feel it out and feel out if this is appropriate for you. So you don't have necessarily bad habits yet. But we have a few I'll talk about shortly, but you also don't have a filter on what's real and what's noise. Like you're pretty much a blank slate. And so the advantages are, having an open mind. You don't have necessarily bad habits, but you do have some character flaws that we'll talk about. High curiosity and motivation. Like it's really fun and interesting, and you're excited. And you're like, yes, this is super cool. Like I used to get stuck in this phase all the time for years. No ego invested in any particular approach. So like you're very humble with where you are because you don't know what you're doing yet. So the pitfall is there's no filter for good versus bad information. So you're just sort of taking information in and like trying to trust people and not really knowing what to believe. And you can often get overwhelmed in this phase. And so it's easy to also get distracted by shiny objects, which is great to explore, but also it's like, for example, when you're exploring starting a new business, you're like, okay, I want to start a dropshipping brand or, email marketing brand, but like, oh no, what outreach strategy should I try? Or like what client getting strategy should I try? Should I do just like one and go all in on that, or which few should I focus on? What's the lowest hanging fruit for me personally? I have content on that on the YouTube channel and a ton in the free course, freeemailcourse.io, as well as obviously full stack email marketers absolutely loaded to the teeth of stuff like that. And there's plenty more coming. Actually, I have a new strategy on that that I will reveal shortly here. I'll do a bonus call or something, but it's like something that Cam is literally cracking right now in my apartment and getting insane reply rate. It's freaking bonkers. So you guys will be doing that shortly here. So yeah, you often mistake consumption for progress, though, at this point. And it is a fine line because, like, you do need to do some exploration, but like consumption, it's a very comfortable, fun place to be. Many people fall in love with exploration, but then often what got them from like zero, to the exploration phase often makes them want to be stuck in exploration forever. And I've literally met people that have been stuck there the entire life versus people that are 18 driving like a McLaren that they can barely afford, but hey, they're 18. It's like, what's the difference between those two people? You know what I mean? Besides the obvious stuff like trauma and belief systems and all that, it's like what I'm about to explain here. The difference between people. And it's more than just moving fast and hustling, bro. Because like you can be a hustle bro, but then completely miss the mark and then just like have nothing really done. And I'm talking about that because I was that person for 4.5 years at Costco. I didn't really have that much done by the time of the 4.5 years, even though I was hating life, eating shit, working 40, 80 hours a week, 60 on average. Um, so yeah, you're just saying, I just need to find the right thing for me. Once I understand this better, I'll start. And I don't know enough to take action. And these are fair, fair things to say at the very beginning. So they're not necessarily incorrect. Okay. But then there becomes a moment where you're just like too excited and you built up too emotion. You're like, oh my God, I'm so ready. I'm ready to start LARPing, which stands for live action role playing, so like you're not really doing the thing, but like it feels like you are. So you're doing some of the steps and you're thinking, I'm totally doing this, but are you though? You love learning, you buy courses, you take notes, you build systems, you feel productive. Maybe you've set up a Trello board, maybe you've done some basic stuff like that. Like maybe you love exploring softwares in your free time, like especially before AI was big and you needed to do that. Like maybe you just found softwares for fun, like me. I'm nerdy like that. Um, Maybe you love exploring different strategies for business, but like going all in and going hard on one is like not something you're there yet because you're LARPing. So that's not productive. And you're cosplaying as a business owner while avoiding the one thing that actually moves the needle, the real action with real stakes. Because I get it, it feels scary. Like when I started my first drop shipping store, I would do anything to avoid doing cold calling because it was so brutally scary for me. So I would like study Instagram outreach and all this stuff and like, oh, I'll do this, I'll do that. Pretty soon I've tried everything, but not really done anything. I've just been LARPing. But I'm telling everybody I'm running a business, but I'm not. And people started calling me out. It's okay. And there's no shame and nothing wrong with this. I'm just like, and by the way, I've been in every phase. I'm 31. I've been online marketing for over 10 years. And so I've been LARPing for way too long, at least compared to a lot of my younger friends. So, hey, wherever you're at right now, it does not freaking matter, okay? This phase is the most dangerous though because it feels like progress. That's why people get stuck. It's sort of like being inside of a Las Vegas casino where there's no clocks. It's like very elusive. It feels right. You're like, yes, your dopamine center's like, yes, this is it. I'm getting freaking rich. But actually, though, you're like losing it all. Like you're actually losing it all because in this case, instead of you losing all your money, some people could be, you're losing your time, which is even more important. Okay, so the harsh truth is most people who buy programs never do anything with them. That's not the people on this call, okay? So I'm not talking to you, but there is a recording that's going everywhere, okay? I freaking love you guys on this call, but I have to speak to the general masses here, all right? So they live in this phase forever and they quietly disappear without ever making a dollar, and you can live here forever and make never make a dollar. Okay. I've literally had people, unnamed people, buy full stack email marketer and then message me and say, hey, I just wanted this to be a more like I wanted to add this to my Rolodex of copywriting courses. This is the only one that covers email marketing, but like I was hoping to feel like I have a PhD full level understanding of everything in between, which I do. I feel like I have that, but to be honest, I have more questions than before. And I'm like, yeah, no shit, because you just got real with yourself with what you know and what you don't know. And what you do know requires you to actually do it with the course, then get feedback. Okay. Because like doing something's way faster than, watching content ever will be. Like it's actually wild how you can watch a 2 hour video on something, then start actually doing it and feel like a toddler because you're like, whoa, this is like, it's like I didn't watch the video. These videos are fire though, and they're super insanely in depth, but it's just doing, there's nothing that'll ever replace doing in the history of the universe. Cool. That's what I realized after spending 100K plus on courses. But they are valuable. And the most important part of a course is the feedback. Okay. Video lessons are helpful as well, especially because you're buying a system that works. But the feedback is what determines like, hey, this is why you were stuck. This is why it's not working for you specifically and how you can move forward. Because often people lack self-awareness so that they need a mentor to come into their life and tell them what's up. Like freaking Cam here. He's freaking awesome. And just by him seeing how I operate, he's seeing, he's doing lots of self-reflection and going, and finding stuff out about himself that's like very common with, beginning copywriters. And he's more intermediate now, but you get my point. Okay. So the advantage is you have deep theoretical knowledge. So like you can maybe write long-winded posts on social media. You can talk comprehensively about it. You could even probably get away with starting a mastermind. Like this guy in my city literally has a mastermind on launching a business, but it's like he's never owned a business. This is his business. So it's like, I don't know, but so you can get away, you can get away with it. This is so ridiculous. But what you can't get away with is actually delivering the offer for people. So that's what we're doing here. And that's why I have all the biggest clients in the game is because I have to actually like there's no hiding that. Like you can't like fake it that way. But I digress. So you have a high capacity for learning a systems because it's fun and it feels like you're moving the needle. Okay, the pitfalls are mistakes. You're often mistaking learning for doing. These people often use I need to learn more as avoidance. And then social media posting, as performance, not business development. So like posting on social media is super important. Get started right away with a personal brand ASAP, but it's not going to be in lieu of like also doing all this other stuff. Okay. But get started as soon as possible. And this person is also extremely vulnerable to death by a thousand cuts, especially if they have a day job eating your time. So, what I mean by that is at the end of the day, if you look at your day and you're like, what did I do? I watched one video lesson, I did 10 outreaches, and I feel exhausted. And I also worked at my day job. That's death by a thousand cuts. That's like, okay, cool. So we pretty much did nothing all day to move the needle. And at least we have the knowledge. So now you don't have to watch that lesson again. Cool. That had to happen. Good. Check. But the problem is people will often go back and rewatch lessons instead of like take action on it right away. And then if you have add other lifestyle stuff like family, amazing kids and family and a partner and like stuff that fills us up with so much joy and love and happiness, like you have to be even more ruthless with your time here, you know? Because like that's why we're doing all this shit. Okay. So I'm not saying limit your responsibilities, but I'm saying if you have responsibilities, then this applies to you even more and pay close attention. I will say often these people will tell themselves, I need to buy one more course. I'll start outreach when I feel more ready. There is a fine line. Like you need to know somewhat how to do the job before doing outreach. So takes like there's this is a pendulum with some of these sentences. Like they're not black and white statements, you know what I mean? And then once I learn enough, I'll feel confident enough to act, which is true. That does help, but like there reaches a certain point where people just get stuck. Just gotta like move on to this next thing. So, congratulations for the people that got past the LARPing stage. This is the toe dipping stage. So, majority of the people on this call are in the toe dipping stage. So, this is good. This is great. This is an awesome freaking place to be. Okay. You're doing outreach, maybe sort of. You're not purely LARPing anymore. You're actually doing some outreach and sending some DMs, but you're doing it at 40% power because you're lacking one major thing, and that's freaking conviction. Okay. Because it's like I can show you every strategy, hack, template, framework in the world, and then give you feedback on these calls. But if you're doing something that I can't see behind closed doors, such as like some stuff I saw on Cam's phone, understandable stuff, it's like you it, if you do a few things wrong as with the system, it starts to break. Like for example, if you don't follow up with your leads fast, especially the ones that said, yes, I'm down to pay, or let's chat, and you just forget to follow up. You don't send them a message saying, hey, today we have a call in a few hours. See you there. Really excited. You forget to send that message, or you forget to message them an hour before the call, or you forget to follow up after a certain amount of time when you had your last meeting, or forget to deliver something you promised on a call or something like that. No amount of correction or cold outreach and posting will ever overcome like an actual break in the system. So like the system has to be airtight. And I should have talked about this sooner, but like I thought this was more obvious, but it's okay. Like hunt down these freaking clients, bang down their freaking door, have conviction. I can't tell you enough how I literally almost lost publishing.com before I got out all the Alex Hormozy social proof, which led to me getting the biggest self-development guru in the game, making 12 bill a year. Okay, I almost didn't have all this. You guys almost weren't on this call. I wasn't almost the person I am today with the view I have that you see behind me that everyone says is a green screen. All right. I don't know if you heard that, but anyway, so the client actually messaged me and said, hey, Christian, this isn't working out. Okay, so if I had my same weak ass thinking that I had at Costco of just like being someone's servant and like the customer's always right and oh, please boss, don't fire me or like just this like shitty attitude, or just accepting whatever comes my way. Oh, okay, that sounds good. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but I totally understand. It's like, no, what the? It's like, oh, that's the real reason why people are stuck. It's like I literally I messaged them along with it. I said, what's exactly the reason why you want to stop working together? I broke down exactly why that's wrong. And I had super ultra conviction. I'm like, look, this will be a huge mistake, like for all these reasons. Um, I promise, like I'll fix the things we talked about. And you're gonna look like a hero for keeping me on. I just kept going in and in and in and just everything, every angle I could possibly think of. It's crazy when you like really have your back against the wall and you're like, it's do or freaking die, and then you get like insane. You just don't care anymore. So that's what it takes. And that's the next phase, which we'll talk about more. Um, but yeah, like I almost didn't have that. Like just a little quick lesson. Everyone's going to tell you no. Everybody. Like my girlfriend's tried to break up with me a few times already. She's said no every step of the journey. No, I don't want to hang out. No, I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to kiss. I'm overcoming objections like crazy. And it's the same thing with the clients. Like that's all I do. It's like in my body. It's like when I hear a no, I'm like, okay, cool, let's talk about it. Like, On a scale from 1 to 10, like where are we at? So, so like I'm convicted. I own my reality. I tell people what they're going to think about me and what they're going to do. And I need you guys to get to that point with me. Okay. So toe dipping first. Toe dipping, lack of conviction. Less urgency, so like it's sort of like having a trainer, like I love having my trainer because even when I couldn't really afford to do many visits with him, I would do legs with him every 2 weeks for $30. And he set the bar. It's like when we worked out together, it's like, okay, he's like, hey, as long as you're strong and as long as we warm up good and slowly build our way up, you're going freaking hard until you almost pass out and throw up. Here's the bar. This is how you actually gain muscle, which is what we talked about. So then all my other lifts after that went up because I'm like, whoa, he set the bar so high. Like for me, just to hit 80% of what the mentor set is like way more than I ever thought. Like I lifted weights for 4 years before that, sort of toe dipping style, half-assed, and got zero results. That's what's going on. Okay. So like I'm here before you guys setting the bar. I'm going hard. Like literally, you saw my schedule right here. It's like, this is my schedule. I literally woke up at 4, had AI generate stuff for me, like on the treadmill. Like I'll have it generate, it'll generate for a few minutes. I'm like running, I'm in the treadmill. I'm like, this is like deep, focused presentation work. Okay. Had to say it again for the recording. All right. So I set a timer too. I literally have one right here. I say, how fast can I do this? And at the same time, I don't allow myself to give in to anxiety and stress because then that eats away at me in my life and I would lose my girlfriend and my parents would not like me and my friends would leave me. You know what I mean? So it's like, this isn't an excuse to like be mediocre. Being mediocre is like allowing yourself to succumb to emotions just because you have a lot to do. It's like, this is like being an adult. You know what I mean? It's like, set the timer. It's not like, oh, this is impossible. I don't know how hard this is. This is like, let's work together to find a system so that you can do what's required to make you successful. So, like, I have a call in the program where I think it was 50 outreaches. I know it was at least 30. I did 50 outreaches and a post for every platform in 30 minutes. And like, sure, I've been doing this a while, but I was just letting you guys know this is possible. So that's the bar. The bar is here. If you even hit a percentage of that, we're better than we were before, and that's why you guys paid me. Okay. So I'm delivering on that. I'm not going to ever let that go. All right. So people will often in this phase half-ass it, check out things off as a to-do list, be like, okay, I did 10 outreaches, even though I was not really convicted when I messaged them. I was like, oh, hey, or kind of scared, or like, and then you went, oh, whoa, I survived that. Checked it off their to-do list. Okay, cool. I'm good. I'm good for a little bit. But then they interpret immediate results as proof that it doesn't work, rather the proof that you didn't really try. And so then you retreat back into learning mode. You're like, okay, well, I'm super scared. Like maybe I'll just rewatch some lessons and like this is me. I'm talking to the past version of myself right now. Okay. And that's why I'm coming across so intense and passionate is because I shudder to think where I would be if I didn't learn this. Oh my God, I would still be hating my every day of my effing life working at Costco. So excuse my intensity here, but it's like you guys need to hear this, okay? Because like I wish someone sat me down and said all this. All right, I would have changed way quicker. So the cycle repeats over and over and over, and then they'll post online, say something's a scam or doesn't work or whatever. So this is where most people quit, and that's also why I'm intense. It's because I'm never gonna let you guys quit on yourself. You will quit on yourself before I quit on you. Okay? These people, they do a little, it feels hard, results don't come fast enough, and they tell themselves it's a scam, this doesn't work, email marketing is dead, AI is taking over, maybe this just isn't for me. All bull crap. Okay, here's the brutal truth. Every method works. Sure, there's tweaks that need to change based off of different softwares and stuff or rules and stuff. Cold outreach works, email works, Instagram works, webinars work. What doesn't work is half-assing any of these things without conviction and then blaming the method. And don't worry, I'm going to explain conviction shortly and how to fix all this, okay? We're going to lighten it up here pretty shortly here, but I just have to make this ultra freaking clear, okay? When it doesn't produce People often blame if it doesn't produce a miracle in 2 weeks. All right. So the people making 25K, 100K, or a mil a month aren't using a different strategy. They push through the exact moment that made you quit. Okay. And literally, these are my friends now. I'm the brokest one in my friend group. They're all crushing multiple seven figures a month. So, like, I'm not talking out of my ass here. I'm literally telling you the facts. Okay. So, the self-sabotage tell. So, this is super freaking important. So, here's how self-sabotage shows up that most people never recognize in themselves. And this, I'm talking directly to you, Christian, from 2017, 2016. All right. What you should do is if you have warm leads, people who've shown interest and replied to your messages, maybe even hopped on a call, the single highest leverage thing you can do is follow up with them or everybody you know. Do that right after this call, okay? Just have to throw that out there. And then what actually some other people do, and this is not anyone specific in this call, don't worry. This is just what I see everybody freaking doing, okay? And now I have two people living with me. So, um, just temporarily until Tara's back. Don't tell Tara I said that. Instead, you start pitching cold prospects. And so, like, this is just an example of an error where it's like, okay, cool. We were this close to the juicy fruit that we've been working so hard to get, like a 5K retainer. We found a way to self-sabotage and to be productive, but that like literally shot us ourselves in the foot. You know what I mean? And so, and it's like a subconscious thing, which is the weird part about it, because it's like a lot of people are subconsciously afraid of failing, of taking on more responsibility of what could come next, or falling on their face, or whatever fill in the blank belief system that's understandable, but also BS. It's BS belief systems. Then you subconsciously screw yourself up. And so people are also afraid, like comfortable in their comfort zone. So like I had this identity that like I'm just broke. I'm comfortable with the identity of being broke. Honestly, I would imagine 50K hitting my checking account and I would get scared. I would be like, oh no, that sounds scary. What am I possibly gonna have to do for the client to accept 23K? It's like that's the wrong mentality, but it's understandable and it's okay if you're having that feeling. I got you, and we're gonna get through this, okay? We're gonna freaking get through this. All right, but I'm telling you, it's a false reality. And that, yeah, I've made up to $23,000 a month from just one client, and I was not scared about the money coming in, because I was in this next phase of what I'm about to share. So you manufacture friction, you find the harder road, and this is the story of my life. I would do everything the hard way because I'm trying to be more thorough, but actually, like people that were more successful than me were doing things the easy way. Okay. You stay busy enough to feel like you're working without getting close enough to the result to have to face the fear you're actually having. So wherever you're at, it's all good. We're going to diagnose the fear and overcome it. Okay. And I'd like to be very clear. This isn't being dumb. This isn't being lazy. It's self-preservation. Everybody here is very bright. I made sure that everybody allowed in this program is very bright and very smart. I love you all. And I'm not just saying that. Like, actually, though, I've talked to every single one of you privately. You're all super smart. And until you name it, you can't beat it. But also, it's your detriment to being too smart. Okay. Until we get through this, and then it's going to be a huge asset. All right. So the advantage is, at least with the toe dipping, you're actually taking some action. That's real. Building reps, even if you hesitate a little bit or flinch a little bit or don't have conviction or are scared, it's okay. At least moving forward, it's awesome. Okay. There's no shame or guilt behind being in the toe dipping stage, as long as we're not in there for a super long time. At least we're moving forward. So starting to get real world feedback, which is amazing. And then we're closer to a breakthrough than you actually think. Okay. And I'm talking directly to everybody on this call on that specific point. You all are closer to a breakthrough than you actually think. You are one good conversation away, one really prepared presentation away from a 5K client. Okay. The system works. The client qualification system works. Using my social proof works. It's working for me around the clock all the time and the people closest to me. So I'm telling you, it's just lack of conviction. Okay, we're going to talk about that. So the pitfalls of toe dipping is half-hearted effort produces half-hearted results, which reinforces limiting beliefs. So then it just feels like you're falling in a hole. You're just like, ah. See, I knew it. Nice try, Diddy. This is all fucking fake. I knew it was a green screen. I knew it. Christian is just getting us on this program. It's all fucking AI. The Rolex is fake too. I literally had that as a comment. It was funny. No, that was one client. My rent is one client. The Rolex was one client. It's like, come on, this is not that crazy, okay? And often this person will retreat to learning the moment things get uncomfortable because they're having that panic feeling inside of like, okay, we're gonna do outreach. Log in. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, what's happening? Oh my God. Oh, I just got a reply. Whoa, holy shit. Like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. That's exactly what's going through my head. And so spending precious limited hours watching lessons instead of sending outreach or posting or any of the above, whatever's lowest hanging fruit for you. Most people in the program, it's outreach. And I have a really crazy outreach strategy to share with you guys shortly here. So, sign of life. This is amazing. Oh my gosh, we've been lifted out of the darkness and we're bringing this into the light. This is actually real. Whoa. So, this sign of life moment is like when you meet someone in real life actually doing it, or you invest in a program like this and we get to connect and you have a personal call with me. That's great. So, a lot of people in the program are also in this stage. Um, Someone replies to your DM that's like famous or like confirms that this is real. You find a mentor in real life that you actually believe in, or someone just talks to you, as I mentioned. So, or maybe you close a $500 project. Making your first dollar online is huge. I remember mine, I jumped up and down with joy. My first 5K client ever, I ran, sprinted down the hallway of my apartment with no shoes on, just my socks, and like slid and like screamed to the top of my lungs and then ran back in my room, closed the door, and I was like, oh my God, now I have to deliver. Sound familiar? It's okay. It's okay. It's like we'll make sure you don't fail in the program. It's just like we need to have full conviction mode. And it's funny because like I'm going through the same thing now, but with ads and funnels, and I have to drink my own Kool-Aid and have full conviction mode. And I'm telling you, it's scary. It's like spending $700 a day is scary, but we're doing it. We're freaking going hard and we're having full conviction this is going to freaking work. Okay. So I'm walking the walk. I'm here with you. I'm on the same journey with you, just a different phase. So I'm having all the fear, all all the negative stuff. I'm having those similar feelings as well. You're not alone. There's nothing wrong with you. You're like not special. You know what I mean? Like all these thoughts that you're having, like I've had them or someone else in the program has had. I promise I'm having them. So sign of life is the advantages are you have external validation and it starts rewiring internal belief. Like, oh, maybe I'm not that bad at everything I do. Like for me, I did tons of sports and never made a goal because I lacked conviction. That's why I can talk like this to you guys. Because like, oh my God, I was poster child A. I never had conviction with anything. I never got girls, was a virgin forever, never had freaking conviction about anything. I'm the most qualified person to talk about this in my eyes. Okay. Momentum becomes possible for the first time. And then now you have a reference point to where to return to when doubt creeps in, as well as me, of course. But the pitfalls are it's easy to celebrate the win instead of doubling down. I've made that mistake on a large level, making, deep into six figures a month and then celebrating a little too early and then not being prepared for what's next. So like don't do it on a small level because then you won't be ready on a big level. All right. Because that's when it really matters. All right. So one sign of life doesn't mean you have full conviction yet. And then some people get a win, then mysteriously self-sabotage right back into LARPing. So don't be that person. It's okay. And life circumstances can do that too. Like maybe you have a death in the family or something. That's okay. But now we know where we are. We'll heal. We'll come back, bring it back. Okay. So what you're telling yourself at this stage often is, oh my God, this is actually real. Maybe I can actually do this. I just need to do more of what just worked. And maybe it wasn't a green screen. Full conviction mode, phase five. Yes, we're pulling out of the darkness here. So this is when you stop hedging. You stop treating this like an experiment. You go full force. You outreach every day, follow up sent, calls booked, zero apology for what you charge. If someone mouths off to you, you tell them exactly what the F you're thinking in your head. You know what I mean? It's like, no, you don't get to talk to me that way for this reason. Or make a joke out of it and be like, what a clown, and then move on. It's like, oh my gosh, if I let everything everyone said to me determine my emotion, I wouldn't have any of this stuff you see around me. I'd be like this, woo, oh my God, fuck, this guy thinks I'm fucking AI generated. Okay, cool. This guy thinks I'm fucking like, what? Like, no, I don't give a shit what anybody says about me. I've literally posted online before. I just spit all over my monitor. I literally posted, good thing you guys aren't in front of me. I've posted online. I've gotten millions of views on one video, and thousands of them were saying, go kill yourself. You think I give a F? No. But don't worry, that's learned, okay? Again, I'm not magical. I'm not better than you. I've just like reached my wit's end with this, with just losing. You know what I mean? That's what you're catching right now. It's like I'm not letting you go down that road. If it's my last fucking effing straw, I will be on my deathbed and be like, Anna, Diane, Paul, Megan, Michelle, CJ, Rebecca, Robert, Sam, Paul, Monty, Heidi, Vaughn, John, and John Lee, Natalia. I'm not going to let you guys give up on yourself ever. Okay. I will be on my deathbed and I will be like saying, hey, don't freaking give up. Okay. So in this mode or this phase, full conviction, you stop blaming the method and you understand that the method was never the problem. You were the problem, and now you're not. Okay. So that isn't to deflect responsibility. Okay. Because I take full responsibility of everyone's success. But especially, this is all triggered by me teaching people virtually. Then I started meeting up with them online. And then I started seeing the truth. You know what I mean? So, like, that's why I immediately had to tell you guys this when I found out. Okay. And it's not anybody you know, because I see lots of copywriters. Okay. So, and I'd love to meet you guys. Hit me up if you're ever in town. I met up with Amelia before. That was great. Okay, so full conviction. The state doesn't feel calm. It feels like freaking out every day. That's the truth. Okay. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, you're a weenie unless you're like super calm and you shouldn't be scared. And like, let's get real here. You're gonna be freaking out. And that's okay. That's okay because the quicker you learn to accept that you're going to be freaking out, the quicker you can break free of this forever. And that really is what making money is, and growth in general is. Feels like your hair's on fire. You're like, oh my God, are we actually doing this? Holy shit. Like you think it doesn't feel that way to become like, 1% of humanity? To make 25K, to make 100K or more, like you're 1% of the entire globe. So of course it's going to feel crazy. Of course you're going to be like, oh my God, this is insane. And then it becomes your new normal and you're good, just like what Hermosi talks about. But they're avoiding that. Okay, so the quicker we just lean into it, the better. And oh man, I will talk to you guys anytime about this. Okay. So it's not a sign something's wrong. The sign something's wrong is if you wake up and you don't feel that little ping in your heart of like freaking out a tiny bit. Okay. Because either you're psychopathic or you're comfortable. Okay. So it's okay to be normal. It's okay to be human. All right. And have these feelings. We all have them. All right. That's the price of doing something 99.9% of people never do. So if you stay stuck, if you choose to stay stuck at your current level, you won't freak out and you'll be fine. But if you want to get rich and not look at the price of anything, you have to have conviction. You have to just wake up one day and go, I'm that freaking person. I'm that freaking person, like, and be kind of delusional about it. And then, especially once you get your first win, then it starts to solidify as your reality, which I'm going to talk about shortly here. All right. So the advantages of full conviction is the efforts finally matching ambition. So you don't have this dissonance between who you say you are and who you want to be and what you actually are. Because that was erodes self-esteem. Okay. And again, this is personal experience. I'm not stating off of any YouTube video or book. I'm literally just explaining my experience. So if you want self-esteem, you have no option but to have full conviction. And it basically, if you want to close clients, no one's going to believe in you if you don't have full conviction, and then your self-esteem is going to get dinged even more. Then we're going to have to work on it and fix it. So like the quicker we lean into conviction mode, the better. And I'm comfortable telling you guys this because you have all the tools at your disposal and the feedback at your disposal between me and the other coaches that we will make you deliver with the client. Okay. And I'm not saying go out there and like paint a picture that you've been doing this for 10 years. I'm saying be honest. I'm saying, hey, you're going to get me for a cheaper price than Christian and his team. Okay. But I have all the strategies behind all his social proof. All right. So does that sound good to you? Like, yes, I'll be like learning some of this stuff, but I'm going to be running it through him. It's like, just be honest with these people and you can have full conviction. All right. And then that takes away the fear. That takes away the, oh, I don't know, or oh, what if I have to say the perfect thing? Or if it's like, you could even say on a call, like, hey, I have a hunch on like this specific strategy, but let me run it through my system and message you back in Slack and I'll let you know. And then go ask us. Okay. You don't have to be perfect. It's all good. All right. So rejection no longer sends you back into learning mode because there is a tipping point where you're just like, F this, I'm all in, I'm fully convicted because I'm tired of being stuck. For me, that was when I bought my first program. I went from stuck for 5 years to just being like, oh my God, you've all heard the story. I'll say it for the recording. Like, I was pacing around my room in Mexico, just like, F it. I'm all freaking in. If this is even a sliver of truth, because I didn't know if it was true. I didn't know anybody doing this, then I'm all freaking in. If this guy actually retired his parents and lives in a crazy crib and does whatever he wants and travels, oh my God, if that's an eighth true, I'm in. Okay, well, I'm just going to pretend it's true and just until I get there myself. And so I closed my first client in 2 weeks, and then I'm running the guru who does 12 bill a year, you know, 3 years later. So the next advantage is your energy on sales calls is completely different if people feel it. Like that, my energy now, you guys feel my conviction where it's like, oh my God, I almost believe in some of you guys more than you believe in yourself. And that was meant to a few of you guys, especially on this call. And you know who you are because we talk. Okay. Like basically anybody who's not brand new, we freaking talked about it already. And also, if you want to talk more about this stuff, hit me up in the private chat. All right. Or the group if you're comfortable sharing with everybody. I'll happily drop you a voice note and transcribe it. So decisions that used to take days now take minutes. Oh my God, you're in full operator mode. You're not stuck for years anymore. You're just like no BS excuses. Like now your productivity skyrockets and you have conviction. You're telling people no. Or you're saying why if people tell you no. The pitfalls are you can burn hot and crash if not managed. So conviction needs to be sustainable. Okay, so don't, yeah, you can burn the candle at both ends, but like if you're lacking from some of the core basic things of your life, like running your own life, which we haven't talked about here, but I'm happy to cover it, like basic stuff like brain supplements, making sure you get enough sleep, like actually tracking your sleep with a sleep tracker and knowing, tracking your water, tracking your food, tracking your exercise, tracking everything, and then actually knowing, like me, I have all that stuff written down. Anybody can ask me anything, like my heart rate from an hour ago, I got you. Okay. It's like, I'm so dialed in to the point where like I'm looking at my personal stats for my body and I'm going, oh, I was angry and irritated at around 3 today. Oh, I only drank 40 ounces of water. Okay, cool. Well, I'm about another 20 behind or a lot more actually, because it would require tons more for me to get irritated. But you know what I mean? Okay. Or, whoa, I slept 10 hours, but I got 15 minutes of deep sleep. That's why I feel like shit today. Okay, cool. At least we know. Now I'm going to take some zinc percolate so that I can sleep 5 hours, but get 1 hour deep sleep and feel fine. I'll send the link to that if you guys want. Not an affiliate link, but I like that shit. I don't need 2 cents. All good. Okay. People around you, though, might not understand the shift. For me, my voice deepened, I changed, and they'll sometimes push back and say, I don't like that you changed. Okay. So what you're telling yourself now at this stage is this will work because I will make it work. I'm not ready. And I'm not waiting to feel ready. I am ready. And then, and then every no gets me closer to yes. Yes. Every no gets me closer to yes. Man, I just fully embody that. Like, even I've told a few guys this, but like, even when my grandma and my mom are fighting and saying, no, we don't want to do Christmas together, I'm just taking that as a temporary no. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna call them and say on a scale from 1 to 10, blah blah blah, and then I pretty soon I save Christmas. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't take no for an effing answer ever. So if you, that's why you hired me. If you're like, Christian, no, I can't do that. I'm like, I'm not taking no for an answer, and I'll break down exactly why for the next 30 minutes. But just kidding. Let's keep going. So what's gone? Maybe this isn't for me. I just need to learn a little bit more. I'll start when the timing's right. Okay, we're almost near the end, and then we'll do a Q&A. All right, so the full embodiment phase. Yes. So this is just who I am now. You wake up differently. You don't have to psych yourself up in the mirror or do positive affirmations or any of that helpful stuff. You don't have to remind yourself why you're doing this. You don't have to fight your own brain to take action. The person you were trying to become is just you now. Okay, it happened somewhere in the process and you almost didn't notice until you looked back. That's the beauty of it. I'm going to go more in depth. So your morning isn't about motivation anymore. It's about execution. You think in terms of leverage, scale, and impact before your feet hit the floor. So like, how can I get, I have this list of things that have to get done. I'm now not thinking, oh, poor me, this is hard. Like, is this going to work for me? How can I do this? Your brain's thinking, oh my God, I have to do this. What's a crazy, unique way that I can figure out how to get all this done? And I'll show you more. So like, also, that's something I also want for you guys. If you feel stuck in the process of the checklist I've given you guys at the end of lessons, ask me for a lesson. I'll literally do it live for in front of you guys because I'm not asking you to do anything that I'm not actively doing myself. Okay. So we're coming in hot and we're gonna do all this shit together. All right. You price yourself without flinching. You're like, yes, I'm 6K a month. And you're lucky it's not 7. You fire bad clients without guilt. You're like, sorry, I'm not like Captain Save a person. Okay. You make decisions in seconds that used to keep you up at night. You're just like, hey, I have the intuition, I know what to do. Or maybe I don't know what to do, but I'm just like, don't really care. And I'm just like, hey, this feels right. I'm all in. If you're more analytical, that's a little bit more of a pipe dream. But like if you're more in your body and trust your intuition, then it's a better option. But we can talk more about that. Because I'm both sides. I'm like super analytical, but also super in my body and feel things out. So conviction is loud. I will make this work. Embodiment is quiet. Of course, this works. It's what I do, it's who I am. So the advantages are decision making becomes effortless. You know who you are. Premium clients find you naturally because your energy, positioning, and standards. Fear of success is gone, meaning you're filming a reel and it's like they don't smell some like fear on you. Self-sabotage disappears. You become a magnet for high-level people and opportunities. Money becomes a byproduct. The obsession is now impact and scale. But the pitfalls are embodiment can quietly become complacency if you stop pushing. The people who knew you before may struggle to relate to you now and not like you. Full embodiment at 25K a month means being a beginner again on the road to 100K. And then same for 100K to a million. And so like I'm literally starting from square one all the time, it feels like, as far as my knowledge. So what's gone though is imposter syndrome. You're fully convicted, not just quiet. The need for external validation to feel like you belong in the room, the gap between who you are and who you're pretending to be, and then limiting beliefs don't live here anymore. And then also this is a light side. Like before this phase, you could get by being in the ego side of it. Like in the beginning, you have to like face the darkness. You know, you have to like be running from pain and fear and like also chasing something pleasurable at the same time. You know, or maybe using ego to fuel you. Like I'm gonna show them. They all turned and laughed at me and said my dreams were a pipe dream of becoming a millionaire and travel the world. I'm gonna make them pay. I'm gonna make them suffer. It's like, okay, that's not real energy. That's not long lasting, but use what you can in the beginning. I don't want to take away your tools, but it's like also know the price. You're going to be exhausted. Okay, so most people who build a business are running from something or traveling a shit ton, like poverty, embarrassment, a parent who doubted them, a boss who disrespected them. But in order to get past that, you know, you have to dive deep into the light, which is you're doing this for a greater purpose. So the people that have kids understand what I'm talking about here, or the people that have, you know, they're in some type of fashion helping others, like either in their community or either with a program like this where you're giving feedback to people. And now the reason why you get up every day is not just for you, it's way higher. Or maybe you're supporting a spouse. I mean, the kids one especially is crazy from what I've heard from people. So that's on the horizon for me. But a pet is a very small stepping stone to that if you want to like get to that level but not take on too much. But yeah, it's like what you do has to be bigger than you. You know, it's like for me, my grandma, I'm paying my grandma's bills. Like that's what gets me up. That's why I look myself in the mirror. I'm like, you're not allowed to think like a loser today, man. You're not allowed to not be convicted today, man. Literally, it's do or die. You know, 80 people are relying on you to show them how to get clients and make copywriting work and crush it, even with AI and stuff, which is an amazing, beautiful tool to make it even better. It's like all these people, you know, it's like I'm paying my girlfriend's bills too. It's like I'm buying my grandma a house because she's living in a place right now with cockroaches. And she's calling me, honey, like I'm scared. I don't like these cockroaches. I'm like, oh my God, let's crack this funnel and make this work, baby. I don't give a shit if I'm scared. You know what I mean? Let's freaking go. But it's not from a place of ego, like I'm better. It's from a place of I have to show up for the ones I love. All right. And so Tony Robbins talks about this. He talks about the moment he went from dark energy, I'm going to show them, to light energy of like giving out 1 billion meals, road to 100 billion meals. He says he has way more energy in his 60s than he did when he was in his 30s using dark energy. Okay, let that sink in. All right. If anyone should be exhausted, it's him, working his ass off nonstop, traveling around the world, speaking until his vocal cords blow. It's like, why isn't he exhausted? There's obviously something there, you know, besides just the fact that, oh, he's Tony Robbins, this elusive character, you know, there's a reason for that. So this is the moment that you stop running from something and you start moving towards something. You stop running away from fear of being able to pay your bills and start running towards the pleasure of being able to maximize your impact on this world and have people actually care and want to show up to your funeral, you know, which I would, for any one of you guys, I would show up. Okay. Freaking love you guys. Yeah. It's just crazy what's possible with light energy when you finally unlock it. So the advantages of self-actualization is energy becomes infinite and renewable. You're no longer depleting yourself to succeed or burning the candle from both ends or needing to rely on caffeine or all these like morning routines and hacks and stuff, which I'm a fan of still, but hey, not when I'm freaking cranking mode. The business becomes an extension of your purpose, not your ambition. You attract the highest level of clients, partners, and opportunities, and legacy becomes possible. And you start thinking in decades, not quarters. And then joy becomes a daily experience, not a reward you're waiting to learn. That's why I love having Cam visit me. That's why I loved coaching him through the process of quitting his job. You know, that's why I love Yogi visiting me. That's why I love to give back to the community as much as I possibly can, not just virtually through a screen like with you guys, but also in real life. You know, it's like they're not from here. They didn't just randomly end up in my apartment. They flew here because I told them to fly here, even though they'd never been here before. You know what I mean? It's like, how can you show up for people in your life and community? Okay. And then the pitfalls are getting here requires confronting why you really started and that's not always comfortable, you know? And dark energy habits die hard. Like if you love watching Andrew Tate and stuff like that and just dark lords with dark energy, it's like, I kind of like it, but also it's like disgusting. It's like, oh my God, no. It's like, that's going to leach your energy away, you know? It's like, I'd much rather listen to Tony Robbins than Alex Hormozy or Andrew Tate because he embodies the light energy. You know what I mean? So true self-actualization requires giving up the identity of the hungry underdog, and some people are deeply attached to that. Exhibit A. I loved being the guy, oh, poor me. I lived for very little in Mexico, making $2.90 an hour. Like my life was so hard. Like no one knows how hard it is to be me. I had such a shitty job. It's like, oh my God. Once I let all that shit go and I moved on, it's like my mission is helping you guys. Whoa, what a difference. Holy shit. That's why this program was so natural and organic. You know what I mean? Like this wasn't like planned from the beginning. This was people messaging me saying, "Hey, can you show me what you're doing?" And I'm like, "Okay, sure. What's the?" I started doing one-on-ones, and I was like, "What's the best way to reach as many people as possible for the lowest possible price that we can all do together?" That's what we're doing. It's my passion. So what's gone in this stage is the chip on the shoulder, the need to prove anyone wrong, fear is a motivator, and the ceiling that dark energy creates, and the exhaustion of running from something your entire life. So everybody, let's, privately diagnose where you are right now. Check my calendar. Um, be honest with yourself. I'm going to go back to the slide with the phases, and then not where you want to be, not where you tell people you are, but where you actually are. That's your starting point, and that's where everything changes. Okay, so the people making 100K a month aren't different from you. They're not smarter, they're not luckier, not more talented. Sure, some of that stuff is at play. Okay, but I've met too many dumb people, too many unlucky people, and too many not talented, rich people to sit here and tell you that you have to be those things. Okay, that's just an excuse. So they just pushed past the phase that made you stop because they lack self-awareness and they had conviction when there was no evidence. They made the identity shift before the results showed up, and they woke up one day and realized they had become someone for whom success is just a natural order of things. And that person is available to you. And the only question is which phase you're willing to push through to get there. Okay, so I'm going to take you back to the phases. Check my calendar real quick. Okay, I'm good. I can be a little late to my coaching call with Hernan. We're cracking my low ticket funnel right now. Let's get you back there and let's also chat about this. I don't want to just bounce. Like here's the phases. Let's freaking go, everybody. Cheers. Got some beet juice here. Also, if you're getting hit by death by a thousand cuts, you have zero room to be consuming any substances that alter your focus and ability to deliver. Okay. In my opinion, it's like, and that's coming from a guy, like I used to be like a drug dealer. Okay. I used to be like hardcore into that stuff. And then I didn't quit because I was like going cold turkey and I needed it. It was either that or rehab. No, that's not the case. I just slowly realized, holy shit, my purpose is so much bigger than all this bullshit that I just naturally stopped doing it and then realized, oh wow, I've been sober for 8 months. Weird. I guess I'll just keep doing it. That's what happened. Because also stuff like alcohol can open up your auric field and then depression and anxiety can come in and like take over your brain and like just and yeah, it's just like be careful. If you're not where you want to be in life, limit substances and alcohol extremely because they're evil. Okay. That goes for all of them, even weed. All right. So everybody, I'm gonna check the chat. Aw, you guys dropped. Yes, zinc percolate or picolate linate. I think I said that right. I own it, but John said, "Show me the money. These calls keep getting better." Yes. Yeah. Me currently LARPing through life. Yes, Megan. You're not a LARPer. You've made a lot of money. Come on. That's not you. Megan's a little humble, okay? Megan's almost there where she wants to be. Spent lots of time LARPing stage. Yes, we all have. Thank God we're all being honest with each other. I was just brutally honest with you for the last hour. Jeez. Feral mode activated. Yeah, well, I mean, shit, this shit's important. Like, come on. And it's okay to want to be thorough, John. That's actually super important because, like, the truth is about getting rich is like it's not one ancient forbidden secret 4 second morning ritual. It's a series of a million golden BBs all lined up correctly or almost correctly. Okay. But also, if you only line up a few and they're 100% perfect, but the rest are not there at all, you're better off having like the other half, like at least halfway there. You know what I mean? Before I know it, half the day has gone. Yes. Welcome to being human. We're all human. This is all something we go through. We've all been through it. Hopefully, you guys don't take this as me being in my ivory tower. Like, like that's not the case at all. Okay. Renata, yes, Renata's such a savage. Oh my gosh, she knows how to get down and work hard and do crazy shit and get out of her comfort zone. Like, she does not give a shit. Like, with certain people, you'll hear the quiver in their voice and you'll know they're going through something, but they're still freaking there. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my God, who gives a shit if you showed up and you're still scared? Like, and you hear a little quiver. It's like, at least they showed up. That's the first step. The quiver will be gone shortly, you know? In fact, I can almost, for me, the quiver was there forever. It was like, shit, I could barely shake this quiver. Yep. So Sam spelled it correctly. If you want the zinc supplement, just find one on Amazon that works. Yes, no problem, Diane. I got you on the extra time. I paid Hernan a lot though, so I will go eventually. Does someone want to ask a question? I'm going through the chat right now. Thank you, Renata. She said this is phenomenal. Megan said very sweet of you. Of course, Megan, it's the truth. That's why I wanted to talk to all you guys personally and not just like scale and hire a sales team. It's like this is like very personal for me, you know. 110 courage comes before confidence. Yes. And thank you, Godswell. Everybody welcome Godswell to the family. He is my new EA and very good. He's doing very good. Okay. Any final questions before I go to my coaching call? Now's your chance. I'm fired up. I'm ready to rant. Like, of course or not, I see everything in you. And like I was hoping that you would come back and dive deeper into this because like I'm not freaking giving up on you. Like, if anyone's getting 25K a month, it's you. Like, oh my gosh, you've shown a lot of grit. Okay. Out of everyone in the world. Or mil a month. Screw 25K a month, a mil a month. All right. Well, everybody, that's all I have for today. I gave you my all, even though you saw my crazy schedule. Like, I really poured my heart and soul into this because, like, this is what I'm doing the rest of my life. I love you guys. And I know you guys can do this. Every single one of you, Megan, Paul, Michelle, Monty, Paul, Anna, Sam, Robert, Steph, John, Natalia, Diane, CJ, Rebecca, Vaughn, John, Lee, Renata, Heidi, and Goswell. I believe in every single one of you. Let's freaking go. Full conviction mode, no F's given. And if you still got a low quiver, it's okay. Welcome to the club. All right. Mad love. Peace.